Have you ever caught yourself saying, I have 20 years instead of I am 20 years old? Or using a strange word order in your language? Don't panic. It's not a mistake, it's a cross-linguistic influence at work. Also called language transfer or interference, this phenomenon explains why your first language, L1, keeps creeping into your second, L2. Understanding it can help you turn mistakes into learning opportunities. What is cross-linguistic influence? Cross-linguistic influence happens when the knowledge of your first language affects the way you use a second language. It can appear in pronunciation, accent or intonation patterns from L1, grammar, word order, verb tenses, or sentence structures, vocabulary, false friends or literal translations, pragmatics, politeness strategies or conversational norms. This influence can be positive or negative. Negative transfer occurs when L1 rule clash with L2 rules. French speakers saying I like very much pizza. Influence of French, j'aime beaucoup la pizza. Spanish speakers using actual to mean current instead of real. Japanese speakers struggling with L versus R sounds. These errors are predictable because your brain is applying familiar L1 patterns where L2 differs. There is also positive transfer. Not all interference is bad. Sometimes L1 helps L2 learning. For example, shared vocabulary, language information, French information, similar grammar structures. For example, we have similar patterns in German and Dutch. Cognates and patterns that match exactly between languages. This is called positive transfer because it accelerates learning instead of causing mistakes. Why it happens? There's a term cognitive economy. Your brain naturally relies on familiar patterns to process new information faster. Another reason, incomplete L2 acquisition. When L2 knowledge is limited, L1 fills the gap. Similarity and contrast. Transfer is stronger when L1 and L2 are structurally similar or noticeably different. Essentially, your L1 is like a lens. Sometimes it clarifies, sometimes it distorts. So how learners can manage cross-linguistic influence? First thing you need to do is to notice recurrent mistakes and patterns that come from L1. You can compare L1 and L2 rules side by side to see the contrast. You can learn set phrases to reduce literal translation instead of separate words. You can listen and read extensively in L2 to reinforce correct structures. Some L1 influence is inevitable, but it decreases with proficiency. Cross-linguistic influence is a natural part of language learning, not a flaw.